So I just wanted to plant that seed, let you know what we're thinking about. The long-term goal for that piece of property is to divide it into 6 building lots. So that's why we're thinking about retention pond,
6 building as in commercial or residential?
residential.
Residential.
So, there's cattails down there now.
Correct.
Is that already a natural
They
wetland?
consider it a wetland. We can dig it out as big as deep as we want, but they consider it a wetland
The county does,
because there's cattails.
even if it's in the city of Good Thunder.
Yeah, and even if it's dry,
As long as you keep it as a wetland.
they'd like to keep it as.
Yeah.
What does the township say about stuff like that, Paul, since you're here?
Well, we follow all Blewett County guidelines and ordinances when it comes to something like Jim might want to do. We would probably reach out to an engineering firm and actually we would require something in writing with drawings from an engineering firm. I don't know what kind of water you're talking about discharging out of this pond eventually. But I know one thing, your culvert underneath that gravel road by the bulb and right now is inadequate for just the rains we have, normal rains. And you gotta take in consideration that water you're discharging will end up in the Maple River.
Correct.
And you also have to be aware of the damages that you may have to be responsible for as it goes farther to the south and then through that 80-year-old concrete slab that goes over Hubble Lane. So I mean, that's all something that just to consider.
How about the pipe that's buried there as a the county water comes down this street, goes down there. And it goes all the way south to that gravel road. How far would you be away from that?
That pipe is right in the corner, so
Yeah, it's right here.
the one that comes, yep, it's all right there in the corner.
It runs up all the way through here.
Yep, but it's over about, you see that darker line in the grass? That's really that tile line,
Right here, you think?
over to your left a little bit.
This one.
'Cause
Right
you
here?
See it last year, it was so dry, you could see the tile.
Oh, that's.
Took a picture of it.
I think the manhole should be about, right here is where the tile
You see
should
the
be.
telephone pole there?
Hard to see when you're looking at it.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. Oh, boy. I don't know if that's.
right in the corner of that road is right where you just had your pen, Jim.
Yeah,
That's where the work needs to be done, where the tile
Yeah,
is open to the ground and there's some busted to the T and stuff there. Where that big 3 foot comes into that.
I would say it's right here. Is where it crosses.
Yeah.
'Cause I'd say that manhole is right here on the south side of the road and that damaged pipe is right here.
Correct.
Our pipe comes all the way from right up here, all the way right down here, and from here on open, it's open above it. Open air right here down, right?
Correct.
Probably what, 70 feet,
Yeah. Rob.
somewhere in there?
But it's preliminary. We started talking with the engineer in the county about what to do and they approved that we could dig it. So that wasn't a problem with them. It's just seeing if that would help your project or not,
When were you gonna get started or,
no plans to start.
oh, okay.
It's all preliminary.
I guess the best thing we could do as a city is, well, I guess we'd have to check with, an engineering firm, check with a lawyer, attorney, see what kind of, can of worms that open up,
Or what kind of agreement would have to be written?
Yeah, agreement, right, yep. A number of things, at least you came and got the horses ahead of the cart, so we can,
Yeah,
have time to work on it.
Rather than start just digging out, I thought we'd figure it
Yeah.
out first.
Yeah, because we have been talking about what to do, with the old ball field. And with Pheasants Forever people have spoken about this. So we weren't necessarily locked into a pond having to be here. Or, well, you wouldn't want it there blocking
The pipe already comes down the hill and I mean, you could
Yeah.
finish out the pipe and boom, you're done with that bit of a project. You already have the pipe as well. Cause it was left over and sat here for years.
but you can talk about somehow trying to put them.
Yeah, but we're right over the top of the sewer pipe there.
Yeah, that's over here.
That's over there.
Yeah.
No. Well, we can take it under advisement and we can do some footwork, and see what happens.
We just wanna see if it's even a viable possibility, because we have to spend a lot of money to have that engineered for a subdivision. And then come back just like the other piece that you're working on. So, you know, I've got to spend a lot of money in engineering. If it's a no, I'm not gonna stick any money to it, obviously.
Would it have it'd obviously have to have a clay bottom, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they don't line them though on that.
no, no. And, you know, you get down to it, somebody go, oh, that'll be a mosquito breeding area, you know, so all these questions that have to be answered.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Got an idea for proposal for a car show in town here. I've got some pictures of the last one briefly through on. I got some old flyers that we brought up. I think we had about 30 or 40 cars at our last shop in Lake Crystal, and that was still with competing with the Lake Crystal car show. We're interested in doing one in town here. Or talked to a few people in town, and they said they're interested in having more events here. So I think it'd be a good chance and opportunity for fundraiser for the fire hall or anything else that might need to be fundraised for. Being as a shop, my brother, the only thing we're interested in is putting our name on it, so we're going to run the whole thing with clientele and advertise for it everywhere we can. Perfectly free. We don't run sessions out. We've done some research as to dates, and our best date that we can currently find, just looking at other bigger events, August 2nd. The only big events for that date are Rib Fest, Twins, and Moon Dogs, and that's all in the evening. So that could be a great opportunity to get a lot of cars here and have a lot of
What time would it be on the second, you said?
we're thinking 12 to 5, because there is a few bigger events. There's a lot of events, you know, in August and July.
Yeah,
Rib Fest, Twins, and the Moon Dogs game, but those are all in the evening time. So if we did it from like 12 to 5, we would be pretty much free and clear for anything else that would hinder other big events from keeping people away. And be a good chance to bring a lot of people in.
would it interest you to do it down at the Ball Diamond then?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know, if somebody wanted to open up the concession stand, which hasn't been utilized now for a couple of years, you know, and have some hamburgers and hot dogs and a fundraiser there, you know, a donation and whatever. I think, you know, it'd be a nice, great place, especially in August, because kind of hot then, and it's got a lot of shade down there after the sun gets down so far, and yeah, I guess it'd be a great thing.
A great use of that ballpark and the kids playground there. It's a really nice place. I know we don't have, I don't know how many children are in town here. Of course, we're pretty new to this area, but it'd be great use or a great chance to get more use out of that. We can already tell there's been a lot of investment put into that area.
Yep. Yeah, no, I'd say it'd be perfect, you know. Again, the city could open up that concession stand, somebody could utilize that, you know, and use the facilities in there, and you got bathrooms down there, and they're always nice and clean and well kept, so you're kind of self-contained down there, so won't have to get a porta potty. They already got his and hers. So,
Well, we could just take a second. You guys are the newest
Yeah.
to the, can we get your names?
Tucker Trubenbach, this is my
Okay.
brother Tyler Trubenbach.
Yeah, well, I'd like to be, hopefully one of the first to, you know, thank you and invite you to the town. We're always glad to see, new businesses and new avenues.
We've been here, what, 2 months?
Yeah, thereabouts.
So we did,
We've been to Good Thunder, our business over being in Lake Crystal, I think was tripping.
nice.
I mean, and we're not making all the money in the world, but it's still like marginally better.
Honest day work for honest day living, yeah.
Yeah.
We, I should apologize too we have talked about this as a council, that we would like to reach out to the new businesses and meet you and welcome you to town. We should have probably got on it a little bit sooner, but I want to speak for them now and say, you know, thank you for considering Good Thunder for your new business, and if there's anything we can do, this is where you come to ask, and we'll see what we can do for you. Thank you.
yeah, you guys see what you can get done. You're more than welcome, and it'd be a very nice thing. Thank you.
If anyone else, other businesses or anyone wants to help or
Yeah,
be a part of it, just come talk to us.
No, that's a great idea. We did mention that when we were talking about what to do with the
They have business cards they can leave up here?
field.
Yeah, it was Robert's idea to have it at that park.
Yep, that's a great idea.
Maybe our lot or something, but it's all gravel and it's
Yeah.
dusty with the wind.
We
Uh,
have thrown 2 or 3 on before, but yeah, of course, losing our location, Lake Crystal, we had a giant concrete lot.
Yeah.
And we were already looking for an area, so we were planning on having one anyway, just
Sure.
happens to work out better for everyone if it's here, I think.
Oh, let's use it. It's there.
like I say, you got bathrooms, you got a facility down there, so I would think, Kellen, he was telling me today, we do have a ball game or two coming there. And otherwise, we need to know what the future of that down there because it just doesn't get used anymore for a ballpark, and we need to do some repair of the outfield fence and if it's not gonna get used, it don't seem like we should invest time and money to fix the fence. Maybe be better served starting it more and have more car shows, other events. We talked about pickleball court, tennis court, basketball court, whatever.
Dog
something.
park, a little bit of everything's been mentioned, yeah.
But yeah, you guys are more than welcome and thank you very much. Alrighty,
Suggestion to you two guys, if you want, get a hold of somebody and have a posting on the community group. Advocating or looking for people who would be interested in assisting or participating in that event. Maybe putting a committee together.
I don't think I'm a part of that. Is that on Facebook or?
Yes,
Yeah,
Yeah, if you search Good Thunder, there'll be a couple of them that come up that you can.
That's a good.
get the word out, yeah.
I have to think.
You and I both. Old school.
yep. All right, thank you, guys. Anybody else under community comment? Do you want to add something now, Kellen, or are you down the list ways?
where am I at? Where am I at?
You're down the list ways. I see you had your hand up earlier, so.
I was just gonna interject.
Okay.
The community group.
Okay, if there's no more community comment, we can move on to Sheriff's Department. We had 104 hours of death, a nuisance, domestic parking violation, assist disturbance, harassment, direct patrol, assist and driving violations. Any questions there on the Sheriff's Department? If not, move on to Fire Department. Got Chief Clammer here tonight himself.
Thank
That's a royalty. We haven't seen you for a while.
Well, we changed council meeting nights. And the second Tuesday of the month was my night off. I can give my report quick, I think if I remember, but I think we had 5 medicals, we had 9 calls service last month. We had 5 medicals. We had 1 assist, it was a pendant push, nothing wrong there. We had 2 mutual aid fires, 1 to South Bend to assist and 1 to Mapleton to assist. And we had 1 motor vehicle accident. I think that's what I gave you.
You got her.
Yeah, all right.
Yep. All right. Under your heading, there's an extraction tool approval.
Oh, extrication tools. So the tools that we currently are running are hydraulic tools. We've been looking at battery powered extrication tools over the past 3 to 4 years, I imagine it is. We've demoed several different types. We've had some intermittent issues with the tools that we have right now. They're 15 years old, going on 16 years old. And we just felt that now is the appropriate time to maybe proceed with upgrading and going to battery powered. Less manpower, the tools are more versatile for multiple type situations that we get into. The prices, I quote from last year, I believe they went up about $1,000 total for the big pack from last year to this year right now. And there's also, there's also a believe there was, what did you put, Sue, did you get the other one in there for the
I did not, because it was so money, it was.
it was basically about $1,000 depending on the mounting brackets that we would need. But yeah, the grand total would be $39,078.50 for the cutter spreader ram extension, the batteries, 6 batteries, the charging system, the cords. close to $1,000 for the mounting hardware. For a Hamatro tool. Our department demonstrated them, we had a guy down 6 months ago, I believe it was already. Right in the department felt ease of use with them. And it felt like the direction that, we would want to go as far as, the membership on the department anyways.
So is this a handheld or you start talking about?
Yeah, they're extrication tools, so, I mean, they're. Well, I got pictures, want to see a picture, I don't.
Really? 70 pounds a piece?
Yeah, probably.
Well,
Yeah, 3.5 feet, 1 foot each.
Basically what used to be called the jaws of life.
Yes, correct, yeah,
Okay.
they kind of look like that, that's, when we demoed them.
Biggest thing is you also don't have hydraulic hoses dragging behind.
Yeah, no, you don't have to drag extra hoses, it's less manpower,
No generator.
no generator, no gas engine, you know what they look like, But, the battery packs, been around for a while, with this, particular brand. The batteries stay the same. The quote that we have is for the new generation, next generation style that they have. The ones that we demoed were the older tool already. And that's my, I think probably for the about $1,000 increase from a quote from 6 months ago until just this last week.
And this is just for one, right?
That is the complete set.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, complete set. Yeah.
does that fall under the dividing between the townships too then, this cost?
So, yeah, that's all of our operating stuff there. That way, Mr. Anderson, the tools, I spoke with Sue and I think that we still have that one-time public service funding money that came to the city in December of 24, 23 or 24, whenever that was, all the cities got I got allocated by population, some service, public service funding, a one-time funding through the state. And I believe our share was 24,000-ish.
Somewhere around 320, 324, yeah.
Yeah. So we were hoping maybe we could utilize that, that service funding for this application.
Any other questions then for? Is that the quote there?
Yeah.
Or negative? Any other questions on it for council? If not, somebody make a motion to approve to purchase these.
I guess the only question I would have then would be the state funding part of it is 23 to 24,000. The bid is 39,000. And do we have a yearly budget allocated for you guys?
We do have, yeah, we don't know exactly what that dollar amount we're at today. I don't have that in front of me. Also usually when we make a large purchase, the gambling, how much or whatever from the fire department, the relief side or whatever, usually makes a contribution to the city in hopes that they'll apply that to the equipment. We can't obviously make the city apply that towards the equipment, but Scott has a form that he would have to fill out. And that would help offset so that it's no burden on the taxpayers.
Okay, well. With that state funding is already over half, I mean, yeah, that's to be expected, or you gotta upgrade your equipment.
And that state funding we received back a year or so
It
ago.
was I want to say, yeah, it was December 23. I'm pretty sure it was when we got it.
Right after you started working.
Yeah, so that was what it would have been in 23.
And that's just in our general fund?
Yes,
Okay,
it's all in the general fund.
all right. Enough questions answered? Somebody make a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Someone to second?
I'll second.
John second, all in favor, say aye.
I,
Opposed, motion carried. All right, anything else, Phil, under the?
No, I brought some friends along tonight if there were some questions on any of the relief stuff or anything. So they knew everybody. I got Dylan Bruns with me and he's our treasurer. And Andrew Meyer is the president.
Do you guys have any questions?
yeah, well, we had talked about it earlier just
Yeah.
because of that audit that came back.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we brought it up as they told us that anything on our audit is not good. And that was the only thing that came up was there was a question about some funds
Was just.
With the
Did they
leaf.
not receive the SC form?
That's what we all
No,
kind of
so-
came across that it was.
It was the actuarial that we did last year.
Yeah.
So what there is requesting is we continue to do that, and I think I talked to, was it you or Annette about it when you get it?
Yeah.
When you guys finish your year up to send us that over and we'll get it over there again.
Yeah, just so we-
So, yeah,
Yeah, all it really turned out to be, it sounded like was that one was chasing the other, that chased the other, and they didn't get together. They kept crossing or.
Well, I think the auditors missed it because John, you thought that night of the meeting, we did it previous year, right?
Yeah, it's all cloudy now because it's.
And I think the auditors might have missed it, so it might be partially there. So I think we should be in good standings now the next time.
going forward, yeah, that won't be on there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was their one and only question, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yep.
And like we talked before, the only reason we're looking for that is because, especially when we're doing like the holiday project that Jim was talking about, the water treatment plant. If we don't get a full funding from the state, which probably I'm kind of assuming it will not happen this year. But if the city has to fund it with an actuarial report within our annual audit, that gives us a better finance rating or credit rating for any bonding that we have to do. So that's the only tie and the only reason why we really need to chase and make sure we have that. So.
And I guess we're doing it now the way everybody wants it done, so everybody should be happy for now.
for now. Yeah.
For now.
Great.
Next year might be an old blue ball game, so. All right, thanks, guys. Thanks.
So Andrew, just so for clarification, though, when are the forms due for the SC forms?
So the fire report, which is the audit, is due June 30th, and the schedule form, they have one, last year's is due July 1st. That would be the 24, and then we will fill out the schedule for 25, and that should be coming to you in August.
Okay, so these guys give this all to you, Sue? Did you give it to Burkhart then? Yep,
No, that gets all sent to the
or to that, okay.
to VIA, who does our actuarial report.
And did we hire that actuary individual? How did?
Yes, because last year at the, not this audit, but the year before, we had talked to them about it, then we got the name of them, and they had actually done it 2018 and 19, they had done it for Good Thunder previously.
Okay. So we have to renew with them every so often, right? Or is that yearly?
We just send it yearly, 1 year, it's like a,
Yeah, but to
Every
hire that
3 years.
actuary, we have to hire them, right? Wasn't that part of the deal?
they're the ones that will be doing it, yes, we obviously pay for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
All right. Well, we'll make sure that we do our part and get it all in order, so we have a good rating and.
Robert, if you remember, memory serves me, but in the past, the full actuary was done 1 year, and then they had to do like a supplemental type.
yeah, it's like an off year.
Like an off year.
Yes, yes.
I know during those COVID years, some things fell apart with all this stuff with the
Yep.
different cities, not just Good Thunder, but
Yep.
lots of that stuff kind of fizzled away for just a little bit.
All right, yeah,
It shouldn't have, but it just kind of did.
yeah. All right, well, guys, thanks, guys. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. All right, anybody else have any questions for the fire department? Not move on to streets and update Eli.
Sure. Still kind of getting my feet under me. Feel like I'm drinking out of a fire hose most days, but from last month, we talked about some of the things at the ballpark and addressed some of the main ones. And there is I think the two churches are playing each other in softball in like a week and a half on Father's Day.
This Sunday.
This Sunday.
This Sunday.
This Sunday?
They have a friendship service going on. But I don't,
Yeah, this Sunday's Father's Day.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
I don't think,
So it's this Sunday.
But they're not playing ball,
They didn't-
understanding.
yeah, they didn't pull that together.
Yeah, but the Lutheran church is
okay.
gonna be down there. They've requested.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, yeah, either way, Kellen and I talked about, it. He got it mowed up today, I believe, and we'll get some of the leaves and stuff out of there and get it cleaned up and.
I mean, I don't have to mow the outfield then.
Yes, you do.
We'll talk tomorrow. No, so yeah, that was one of the things, Jim had expressed some concerns and I think we got it looking better.
Yep, oh yeah, I've been there since we talked and you got everything that we talked about
Yeah.
eliminated as far as a possible issue, I think.
Bell tower hedges, that's still on my to-do list. We've kind of had some rain days here that have messed that up. Dust control, we should be getting a bid this week on redoing the oil on the recycled asphalt, and also we're gonna try that on some of the limestone as well and kind of just see how it holds up. Robert and I looked at some of that too, whether we regrade or kind of patch in. Sewer easements, I think, are for that extension.
We're still waiting on Paylors
Okay,
on the locker. I gave it to them with the corrections and explained theirs. And I'm waiting for them to give it back. But yes, we do have feral gases done and I will be mailed tomorrow.
the work order forms that Brian had put together, we're working pretty well. We did tweak some stuff to make it easier for Sue and I, so they're all in a shared folder and we can just kind of, instead of emailing them back and forth, we can all work on them. So I just look in a folder and if there's a work order that she's put in there, then I go and address it, so. That's working well. Other kind of old business stuff, or I guess maybe this was right after last council meeting, we did have some trees fall that were on city right away on Flynn Street. I don't know, did any of that get in here?
No, I think the estimate for the tree removal is,
Okay, at this time, there was a claim filed because some property damage, but that's still in process. But the intent would be to get those trees removed, so it's not a problem in the future. I'm also putting together a list for WW for different asphalt projects around, so I got a few things that I've noted. If there's anything else, I'd take those into consideration. We can talk to them about it and get a plan there.
Branch, that was. Cool.
When I talked to Cars, he just looked at the stuff on Flynn Street. He didn't look at any other trees.
Those on there, those Scott, I believe they are on school property, right?
I did contact Drummer.
Yeah.
And told them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know if they're still there. I don't drive that way.
Yeah, it's still hanging up there in the trees,
Okay.
but all those maples are expired.
Okay, well, I will,
They're getting rotten.
we'll send a letter.
Just to be clear, even though they're hanging over right away, they're the
There's-
owners, correct?
Property.
Yeah, okay.
But the city also has a right to trim right straight up where the property line is, so I don't know how this is gonna fall in with that dead branch hanging.
So would it be beneficial just for the city to go grab it?
I guess if they're in town cutting some more, let's
I
just
mean,
get
if
it
that's big,
taken care of.
if that's
Be better than dropping.
more
it.
beneficial than waiting for something else to happen.
Yep, I mean, you don't want it to fall on anybody, you know? It's hanging over our street, so let's just take care of business and get it done.
On that note, if you're around town, I noticed there's a few ash trees like down at the ball field that look like they might be unhealthy. So maybe that's something I'll talk to Cars about also in there.
Well, originally here, we went back a year or so, or was it 2 years already? Then the person at your position was gonna have somebody treat them trees, and then he was gonna get a license to do it, but that never developed, so are they past the stage of treatment to just cut down, or?
That's something I could ask Cars. I think they may be, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, because you look around, there are ash trees that are completely dead right now.
Another thing that came up, Hillard Drive was in pretty rough shape. We did just, Peterson gave a verbal quote of like $75 to grade that every time they go by, so. That's, cheaper than I could do it, and they do a better job than with the tractor, and that box scraper works really good for alleys and narrower roads. It's hard to really pull a nice, like a crown on a nice wide road like.
And they need to keep it widened out a little bit. I see it's growing shut, so
Yeah.
they could take a couple feet off each side of it.
Yeah, and I think part of that too is we need a little rock on there. We are waiting on, we did get a couple quotes to get rock spread on that. Yeah, one coming back and it should be a cheaper quote, so waiting on that. So we can get some rock spread on there, so we have a little more to work with too.
Yeah.
Pond generator that had its, I believe that was its first annual service. Kind of a spendy service. I spent some time out there with a technician, and I think we could probably go, instead of having them annually every 2 or 3 years, and do some of the annual stuff on our own. Just
Yeah.
save a little money that way.
Is that kind of the same thing as what they do here and the fire station? Does the fire station have an annual tune up too or not?
I'm like, we had weekly, didn't we, for a little while?
I mean, this one is, you run it every once.
Every other, yeah, usually the same Tuesday the fire station one gets run, I
Yeah.
make a point to stop here and exercise.
But he was just out here and did this one, right?
Yeah, so it's 2 different companies. Generator GSS comes and does this one.
Okay.
And I don't know that I saw the bill for the annual on that.
It's in here.
The one for the pond generator, they did like software firmware updates and checked a bunch of stuff as far as frequency and all of that. And it was a thorough service, but even talking to the technician, probably not something we need to do every year.
And they charged for that?
They did, yes.
I mean, it's not even like 6 or 8 months old.
Right, so I think it was like the initial maintenance.
Yikes.
Yeah,
How much was it?
it was,
It's in there,
Yeah.
it's in your bills.
I missed that one.
Detail registered.
What was the name of the company?
Generator.
no, that one was Midwest Electric. So it was
175911.
175911. He was out there for 4.5 hours doing whatever he did, so there was some labor involved in it, but I don't know how necessary on a year-old generator.
I mean, would it be worth a call to call and say, hey, wouldn't this been done when it was delivered and set up originally? That 6 months down the road now, we're spending $1,700 already? Did
Right.
you choose the wrong company or what?
I don't
That
know.
by them.
I don't, yeah.
Do we have to have them?
No, well, and that's the other thing. We could look at a different company, or, have them come out every 3 years, and then they can do the software and firmware stuff that we can't do. But as far as the oil change and that's something we can handle
Yeah.
in-house for significantly
Absolutely.
cheaper.
All right, well, yeah, I guess we'll live and learn.
Yeah.
Update, I mean, well, we haven't lost power now, is it?
Oh, we did we have a few times in storms for a couple hours, so.
It has right on and taking care of business?
As far as I know, I don't think, Brian would get the alerts for that. I don't know that,
Yeah.
we've had any issues there, so.
All right.
Another thing that popped up, we had grease traps cleaned, both at the fire station and in the shop. And when they pulled all the dirt off the bottom of the grease trap in the shop, there is a pinhole. So that grease trap's leaking. I did just get a number from Javens for a company that can just come in and line it. So we don't have to cut the floor up and replace the whole thing, but that'll be something that we're working on in the next month here.
All right,
And then equipment wise, Kellen and I have talked about some upgrades on the mower. Overall, it's still in really good shape, good machine. We do have some struggles out on the ponds with some of the grades and stuff there and keeping traction. So we're looking at different options for ballasting and stuff, but we'll get those together for next month. Looking out even further, the loader tractor, the tires are
yeah.
down there, so it'll be fine for summer, but next winter we'll want something, so I can gather numbers for that as well.
Front and rear or?
Yes.
I think it's both of them, right? Or
Yeah, the front and rear are both. Yeah, I would say right now they're maybe 20%.
Wore down pretty good. When we get that on a government contract thing, right? Or state bid
I
deal?
believe
is it?
so.
I believe so, yeah. Did you do that on the fire trucks, right? A state bid for tires and stuff?
No,
You don't?
no,
Oh, really?
no. If we get a flat tire, we get it whichever town we're in.
No, this is new ones.
Yeah, well.
Just buy a new one.
Yeah.
basically we can't wait around.
And then the dump truck, we had Tyler actually in town, did the DOT on it this year and passed. I took care of a few things beforehand, but that'll kind of continue to service in the capacity I think we need for the time being. It still needs TLC and stuff, but.
Yep.
And then the sweeper there's some wear items that need to be addressed on it, and I got a call into McQueen. So McQueen is, I guess there's free inspections on that because we bought it through them.
Oh, yeah.
So they can come out and kind of give us guidance on what's worn and what needs to be replaced. But sometimes it'll leave kind of a strip of dirt and stuff, and there's some deflectors I've seen that are kind of need to be replaced, so.
I remember Eddie had that something broke and they said that down the road, certain things are gonna have to be fixed on too.
Well, that one time the hydraulic pump was coming loose on the drive end of the room, so, and I think it was bent a couple pipes, but that's all gone now. That's good.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's, probably needs a new pickup belt.
I think a belt and probably close on a main broom.
Probably.
We have a gutter broom on hand, so that's kind of just one of those things that we're right at the end and we can replace it at some point, but.
And it's supposed to have like the insulation inside, which is all fell down. I told Eli, just get that stuff off the internet and put it back up there so it's soundproofing, and the window for the side is broke. Just fix it up, because in
Yeah.
reality, it's a very good
Unit,
unit. Just needs a little TLC.
you're getting the hang of running it.
I don't know, does it look like it?
Oh, I thought it looked good today, I thought, yeah. I know Brian just said that there was when he ran it and tried to get used to it, it was a little bit of
It's,
the quirkiness you gotta figure out and.
yeah, to keep the gutter broom in the gutter is
Yeah,
not as easy
yeah.
as you would think.
No, yeah, straight lines are the best thing, but.
Yep.
Eventually you do have to turn the corner.
And as far as street stuff or day-to-day stuff for me, that's all catch basins I've been working on. We've got a lot of leaves in catch basin, so.
How about where we looked at that rock that was placed there by the engineer down? Did anybody look down by the
Yeah.
pool there where all that rock is, you know?
Oh, I haven't.
Eli and I looked at that, we got a storm sewer right down the hill, what, 100 feet maybe?
Yeah,
It needs a catch basin there, and pick that rock up again, because who's gonna trim the weeds out of it?
It looks terrible.
It looks terrible. I don't know who engineered something like that, but I would
Eventually
never.
there will be one.
End of the school you're talking about?
Yeah, on what side?
It's
Yep.
good, but it's,
so I just cleaned the catch basins at that intersection, and what's happening is all the tree seeds and stuff are pushing up onto those rocks and filling the rocks in, so we're gonna have so much material.
Weeds growing up in there anyway.
we'll have
You can
mysterious
only
trees,
clean
yeah.
so much of it out,
Yeah.
and, you know.
I guess, find somebody, well, brings another question up where the boys there got their shop now. That catch basin has been there for at least since 1965.
That,
The one that's falls in a foot.
Yep.
Now that these guys are bringing quite a little traffic in there, I believe that should be updated and brought up to street level, so, because it is not protected.
No,
And there's been a vehicle or two that has been drove in there. So it's city's liability hanging there right now, so I think if you can find somebody to do that, Eli, let's get that one upgraded.
Sure.
And fixed up.
Maybe pound in some stakes in the meantime or something. That's quite a dropout.
there's some cones.
Yeah, there's some phones.
It's not, yeah. Another thing just today, and I guess a few ongoing through the month, but we had a few water meter disputes through the month, and then actually today when I read them, I had a flag for a burst pipe and looked at the usage, and the guy, the homeowner had used maybe 2,000 gallons a month for the last 5 months. Well, he had used 8,000 gallons over the last 30 hours. So I called him up and I said, hey, what do you think you got going on? And he goes, oh, I think I left my garden hose on. So I said, well, do you mind if I turn it off? And he said, please do.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Pretty good catch to,
That
Yeah.
system again is coming through.
Yes.
It is, yep.
I know that was a big investment on the front end, but it's just things like that have been common, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that alley there where you put some recycling in, you know, this, by that sewer that got fixed there, you know, right behind it. I think that patch there will probably be the city's, because if, the way it is now, the city takes care of from the sewer in behind the curb. Well, that street's only 20 feet wide, so I think it's right up to the edge of the house, so if we have to cut that out, get it tapped in and re-blacktop it, that'll be a city expense.
Sure. And that was one of the things on the WW list that.
Yeah, get that fixed up decent. And then across the street there where they did it by the township hall, you know, there is about a 3-foot round circle that holds water there. Did you ever notice that after it rains?
No, I have not.
Yeah, there's a puddle there, so I don't know if they could mill it out and add a little in there or not to get that to go away. This is Eli's tie, but where XL's put some light poles in the sidewalks and that, you know? I know there's one by the gas station and there's another one that they drilled a new hole, you know? Well, they kind of just destroyed the cement and left it. Is they gonna fix that back up, or does the city have to do that since it's in the right of way? I mean, they cut it. They got tired of beating it out of there because they couldn't get it out of there because it's rotted too much. I mean, they should have just took the whole section out. But I mean, and I mean, you won't be able to get a hold of anybody at XL, right?
Yeah, I do. I have contact.
Oh, really?
Really?
Oh, okay,
I
well,
know people.
All right,
yeah.
good.
Where was this at?
Down by the gas station is for one, and I seen another one that they replaced the pole and left the hole in where it was cemented. So I mean, is
They
that
did.
their responsibility to
Well,
put
it
it back
should
the way it was?
Think so.
They took
I would
the
think
pole
so.
out.
There's another spot, and right now I can't remember where. But I'll
They
think,
did a bunch of cutting down by the Lyra building too on the church side of the alley.
that's where it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it is. Yep.
Where is it?
They
South
messed
side of
around
the
with
alley
that
by
for,
the township hall
all
and the
day.
church.
Okay.
Yep, that's where it is.
I look at them and then when we get a list, I will give her a call or email her.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Anything else, then, Eli?
Building permits, or is that?
Oh, yeah, we got-
Yeah,
Am I
good.
done?
No, well, the building permits.
Is there any particular order or
Oh, there was 3, 4.
Just a
there's
bunch of
quite a few?
I got 3, 4, 6, and 7.
Well, this one's not numbered.
I have 3, 4.
That one, the new one is 8.
For
Didn't
the
get that one numbered.
new one.
You should have 2 through,
You have
Okay.
3 through 8.
3 through 8.
3, 4, 6, 7. No, it's the 8 somewhere here. Number 4 doesn't have no name or anything on it here, no address, no nothing.
Yeah, it's typed in.
That is.
It's real
Typed
small
in there,
type.
yeah.
It's in there.
Sheila Ream.
Oh, wow.
It's small.
Oh,
I thought the same thing when I first looked at it.
all right.
Oh. Oh, that one. We're gonna start with 3, is that right?
Yeah, 3, and this number 4 here with all this, there you go, view and walls and all that. Everybody got that figured out where that's all gonna be?
It's up to
It's a
Eli.
lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm kind of lost in that one. I got the fire pit down all right. Have you checked that all out, then, Eli? Is that,
So, the only concern that I have on that one, there's that building that goes, I believe, along with that property with that's partially on right of way or fully on right of way, and they want to do a wall also on the right of way. So that was kind of the only hangup I had on that one.
That's a 50-foot right of way going down there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so, they don't have a lot of other options is the only thing, so I don't know, you kind of need it with, the
Water runoff.
elevations and the water runoff, they kind of need that to hold the water back, but it is, technically in right away.
And so if we put a storm drain in there, would that alleviate a lot of the water issues for them?
Yeah, I would imagine, so yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if you go back over here, what we just did last summer, we found out a lot of people built on the, was it the easement or the right of way? One or the other on that sewer project. So do we really want anybody going on our easement or right of way now? Again,
Right.
at least they brought this for us to see, where the other people kind of like built on there and nobody knew about it until it was time to put a sewer in and you're on city property.
Because what is that, Willard that goes up, that actually would come up there by the house or by the school? It would be Willard, right?
Yes.
Okay, so, and they already have a shed on that. Didn't we discover that like 2 years ago or?
Yeah, so that was.
Portion of it, not the whole thing, but.
Right, that was the only thing, like the wall that they're proposing is no further in the right of way than the current shed is.
I still think we need to keep that open as much as possible. As I.
Just tell.
That must probably only be a 25-foot right of way maybe, or is anybody, it's on that map in there, I'm sure.
Mhm.
It'd be right here, this coming off of this street here, but yeah, it shows there.
Yeah. Not the same position as our. So they're saying this building is on, is that?
That building is, no, that's on the right of way, John, right?
Pardon?
Part of that building is on the right of way.
If I remember right, because I don't remember what came up a couple years ago, but we had a big discussion on it.
Yeah.
That little garage has been there forever too.
Right,
The garage, that little shed's been there
yeah,
forever.
I don't think the current owner.
25 or
80.
80,
how much?
80, 80.
Wow.
Sorry, I missed that.
So that's the same width as across from the school then, that street.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wow. So that easement or the,
The road, the width of that road is 80 feet
oh
wide.
my.
So the current shed that's there is entirely on right of way.
I don't think as a city we'd ever, if somebody wanted to develop it, go down that hill and hit lower property, we'd never have it that wide. It'd probably be what, a 25-foot? It'd be whatever we decide, I suppose, since there's already a building on there.
Yeah, we won't need 80.
Yeah, that I don't know, but possibly.
How do you handle this if they want to maintain that wall in line with that shed, which is already not on their property?
Yeah, so you don't think we dare go and allow anything to that shed until we,
How would we ever go about narrowing that up and just having of course, then would you have to sell that chunk of property to that landowner? Cause it's city property or right away.
That's how it came up, because they had asked us to
Abate that or,
abate it.
yeah, that's what it was, exactly.
And that's not an easy, that's a lot of legal mumbo jumbo in there. I remember from Kennedy, we had a
Yep.
no, I think we can approve everything, but I don't think we should approve that portion of it.
Yeah.
And that drawing is horrible.
I think I'm missing one.
Color too. I printed those on black and white. So.
It's up to your land, Jim. Oh, you got them all the. Planning is, gonna come in from? Which
It wouldn't-
direction?
It wouldn't come into it all, ours is further down the way, there was a tree right in the middle of that alley as well too.
Yeah.
Well, should we take them as they are here? Let's take and go from 3 and 4 and 5 and see if there's any other questions. Is 3 all right for everybody?
Yeah. I think
Yes,
if I
please,
done-
fine.
Okay, and then number 4 that we were just discussing,
Yeah.
everything except for the wall?
Yeah.
All right.
If we do any of that maintenance on there, it might correct their problem.
Pardon?
If we go in there and
She's in.
do away with the rock or
Yeah.
whatever, it might take care as part of their,
I think it would take care of a lot of it if we put a catch basin there. It should have been done right away. Because we put around there, tried to direct the water down the hill, but I don't know why engineers would engineered anything like they did and put that there. Number 5 is just another re-up, right? Just another re-up. We approved before. Number 6, I don't know what that got.
He's pretty friendly.
Yeah.
Any questions on number 6? All right. Number 7,
Number 7, he doesn't have the setbacks, but he also doesn't have another place for that shed. And it's inside the front, so the setbacks are a little irrelevant. It's also just high density polyethylene shed,
yeah,
so there's no footings or anything into the ground.
yeah, and it is like a little garden shed,
Yeah.
8 by 5.
Plastic.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
That one all right with everybody too?
Yeah.
All right.
And then I guess this one.
Yes.
So I can pass this down. This is John Lillis just brought this in. He's I don't know, maybe. you
Maybe
want
I'll got
to-
copies of it
better,
too.
but- Oh, okay.
Yeah, they got.
The only thing wrong on there, I couldn't figure out it looked on the abstract, I couldn't find north to south width of the lot. And then he looked on his phone. I just wrote down 50 feet because that's usually what they are there, but he looked on his phone and said it's 66 feet wide. So actually, now that he said that, I think back, that rings a bell with me. I think that's correct. But that property's been surveyed. I surveyed it when I bought it. So I mean, I know where all the pins are, so. And then the other thing he said along the township road, maybe not have it 6 foot to the back, have a bigger one, and I don't care about that.
I'm still learning the ordinances, but I believe that township road would be considered another front to the lot,
Yes.
not a
Yep.
side lot,
Yep.
so it seems to be too close, but.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
66 feet, so I can move it.
Yeah, nothing can be in the right of way
Right.
of
We're not in the right of ways. I just had it draw it 6 feet onto my property. And if it's gotta be
when I
moved,
built mine, I'm on a corner lot, I had to go 20 and 20.
Yeah, I don't remember what the setback.
yeah, and I could go 20. I mean, I'll go whatever it has to be. I got plenty of room there.
We can look at the setbacks tomorrow too, just to make sure.
Yep.
Height wise, 24 feet high?
Yeah.
Anybody with questions then on building permits, 3 through 8, was it?
But the copy I have says, John's is number 9.
7, he's got a Mankato address too.
Ours wasn't numbered.
That's a rental property. That is,
This is
he
rental.
doesn't, he doesn't own it. Or he
And that's-
owns it, but
Was the Hulk Street property, but his. mailing
Okay,
address
well, I
is-
just all of a sudden
Yeah.
I'm looking at a Riverport Drive Road.
So if everybody's happy with the building permits, except with the exception of the one with the retaining wall, right?
Correct.
Somebody want to make a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Someone second?
I'll second them.
All in favor, say aye. I oppose, motion carried. Anything else, then, Eli?
I'm not sure what that is.
The city hall parking lot bids.
For,
So parking lot out here.
for seal coating?
No,
Oh,
we're-
man.
we do the concrete.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we are.
You'll just let me know what the,
Yeah, I can give you. a call.
away from,
North line.
Yeah. Um. On the city parking lot bid, I guess we're in no hurry. We're just getting, I might have, stumbled onto somebody else that might be interested. So I mean, we have two bids now, but I guess we never put a date on, right, for when we want it done.
Well, right, and well, now that appears that these easements might be coming in, I think we may want to wait till next year to consider these,
Right,
because we're gonna drop some more money with finishing up the
that's sewer.
sewer project.
But you know, I think we got the sewer account solvent enough to handle that now. And this would probably be just for the general. Only concerns I have is it's kind of misaligning out here by the door. If we have any elderly people. Want to fall down coming in,
Okay.
you know, so you got to keep that in the, you know, keep it safe.
Yeah.
So,
I see the bid, the second bid does have a 30 days.
yeah, they're both will have, I'm sure, all of them.
How long his bid was good for, but, and that's neither here nor there. We can always get another one.
Just take it under
I
advisement.
know that Briar, he had boning something hauling the concrete away. On the Mark Briar one.
Yeah.
And they could run into a lot of cement and iron and maybe in this cement parking lot out here. What the old timers say, there could be a lot of iron in that. Could be a very tough job. Okay, that it then, Eli? For you?
Yes,
All right. Water and sewer, Brian not here. Did he give you an update at all?
I had not heard anything from him, no.
I didn't either.
Okay, storm sewer holding pond, already kind of discussed that. Cannabis ordinance, Jared Day and Dan Burnett. That must be you guys. Pretty good?
I asked them to come and help us answer any of the other council persons' questions regarding the direction and what other towns and municipalities do.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what are the questions that you guys have? Trying to explain nothing. And I think the biggest thing I'll tell you, we just went down to Thunder Bar to eat before we came up here. And they basically said, no point in doing it anymore. It's too much complications, we're done. So I'm like, damn, all right.
Too much
They
complication.
said, so I guess I don't know what they've heard or what they think is gonna happen. That's just what we said and talked to them about. So that's kind of where you're starting, and that's. At the end of the day, I look at that and go, well, if you ain't have that. There's really no, who else is selling around here?
Cause the only other venue would be the gas station, yeah.
But
I wonder
I guess I don't know
if-
what you guys are thinking about doing or putting, I mean, I think Mankato right now it's $100 for the license and North Mankato's 50. I wouldn't think that, it'd be any more than that.
And then just explain the differences too. The liquid, the
Yes.
refinery,
Right
the,
now. So the drinks right now are considered, they're Delta 9 hemp, what it is, so it comes from a hemp plant. So it's federally legal to sell basically anywhere that's 21 plus. So that's how they operate that, and that's why they put a tax on it and charge a license to sell. So that's how it's working, right at the moment. Cannabis is a completely different category. That's, growing the crop. Selling flour, oil, smokables, you name it. So you're seeing a lot of towns that will put a restriction says. Mankato just came out and said that they're only gonna allow 4 dispensaries in all of Mankato. So you look at that and it's like, all right, so they're regulating the cannabis side, but there's no regulation on hemp drinks, THC drinks. So it's capped at 10 milligrams a drink. I think what else to really info on that, but it can be sold, like I said, anywhere, liquor stores, bars, restaurants, but like I said, it's gotta be ID'd, it has to be 21 plus. That's pretty much it for restrictions.
Do they limit them in Mankato, the amount, I think, or they change that?
Statewide is 10 milligrams. That's the highest you can go
Okay.
per drink.
I think what you're talking about limiting, though, they don't limit them to how many drinks they can have. It's just, it's no different than a liquor
Correct.
product.
You treat it as beer, wine,
Yeah.
whatever. So it's like, if you're in a bar and you're completely messed up, the dram shop and how.
But a few of them in Mankato, I know it's either you take that or the alcohol, you're not.
That's gone now.
Oh, they did away with that?
Completely gone now.
Okay.
That was like the state trying to mandate like, how to do it, but it's up to the bar itself. But like I said, if you walk in and have 30 beers, they're gonna cut you off. Same kind of thing.
Okay.
That's your jam shop. That's your, the insurance side of it for any bar, restaurant, whatever, the liquor side. So it's adopted the exact same rules, like regulations, all that.
Well, we were gonna have a special meeting on the cannabis ordinance because right now it's just a state, we don't have any city ordinance. It's just whatever the state mandate is what we're going by.
I
So
would definitely recommend putting some sort of
ordinance together.
ordinance on it, but then you can control it. You want to add a tax. It's like right now, the state, you have to do sales tax plus 10% is what the state is making like any bar, restaurant do.
Mhm.
You could put, like, I think Mankato did an additional 3%, I believe. But except inside my stores, we don't have to do that because we have the license and it's just a off-premise store. But on-prem, I believe it's an additional 3% at any bar. So it's just revenue side.
Okay.
And they're using that kind of as another way of producing revenue for anything, yeah.
So I think just hemp drinks in Minnesota, they produce like 30-some million in tax revenue. So I mean, it's a huge market right now.
Well, this has kind of been revised to say everything about Good Thunder, right?
Yes.
How about the limits of 1,000 feet from a school, which we don't have to worry about, daycare 500 feet?
That's for like growing cannabis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, it's not for the liquid and then that's more your refineries, your smoke shops, your grow
Smoke
operations.
shops, we can't sell it unless they get a cannabis license, which they'll never. Like you can't have tobacco in cannabis, so that won't.
Well, didn't you say our whole town is within the restriction of churches and daycares and all that? I mean, our town is so small that, I
But
mean,
wasn't it just said that that's if you're growing it?
oh,
It's only if it were to grow.
That's true cannabis. That's growing, extracting. That's it's like with hemp, that's a completely different plant. So you have to extract more hemp plants to get the THC, right? Or if you grow one plant, I think it's like the ratio is 10-1, somewhere in there, right around there, yeah, to get the same amount of THC out.
okay.
So it's completely different. Like hemp and cannabis are treated completely different in the state.
So if we were gonna put it, how would a store like yours come in to hear me? What would the restrictions?
It would never happen, truthfully.
Well, I know, but we still have to have an ordinance, right?
Well,
So,
CBD
I mean,
hemp,
how would
kind
that-
of things, there isn't in Mankato. You can open it like a normal business.
okay,
Cannabis, you have to apply, you have to go through the state, you have to get approved, and then you have to, like I said, some of Mankato made their own. You have to, it's only 4. So,
Okay.
you know,
okay.
And you
and
gotta,
it's zoned just like bars, restaurants.
Oh,
you gotta win a lottery to get
Correct.
that. You could-
right.
Which costs, I think,
A lot.
25.
20 grand,
20,000.
20 an application, so.
But us, as a city, we'd want to adopt something like this and have it on the books.
Right,
Yeah.
correct.
That's where we didn't have to get really as in depth as what we were talking.
What we originally thought.
What we thought.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it's two different
Yep.
avenues.
so have you looked at the ordinance that we are proposing?
I'm not.
What would
We
be?
didn't get that to you? That's my bad. Yeah, I don't think I did when I.
This would probably pretty much follow a state guideline.
Yeah, this is pretty, yeah,
So it's almost identical.
yep.
Yeah.
It's I think it's identical to Lake Crystal's, it's just.
Yeah, does all the other towns, have they all adopted one of these?
Majority of them, some of them, like I said, have gone with Blue Earth County,
The way they got it wrote?
yeah, turning over the jurisdiction to Blue Earth County, so then the money for the fee would go to Blue Earth County versus the city.
Oh, yeah.
And we could do that, but in this one, we're taking it on. Basically, they have to get all their ducks in a row from the state. And once they're approved, I mean, then we would issue that license.
Like Crystal has a storefront for it, right?
Yeah, so they get a smoke shop, but yeah.
You're saying they cannot sell once the cannabis thing, if. in the
Correct, they have to
shop?
apply, have to get approval through the state or
It doesn't just come with
cannabis license.
a smoke shop license. You have to get a specially licensed.
So yeah, this is almost identical to the state of Minnesota.
Probably where it came from and just got
Probably. yeah.
inlaid, yeah.
What our attorney has used, yeah, and other cities has done, so,
'Cause, Kennedy, he looked at all this, right?
yes, this is
Drew it up.
from him, yep,
Basically, yeah.
yep.
Yeah, it keeps, I mean, even here, it keeps hemp separate,
Okay,
so.
Okay, yeah, hemp manufacturer.
Yep.
That's where we would,
I said I'm not an attorney, but I'll tell you it's standard.
it's different. Everything's broken up into the different.
All right.
This looks pretty safe.
Well, does that answer everybody's question about the legalities of hemp and
About the only thing you said that would have to be done would be what a permit would cost. We'd have to set the rate.
Oh, yeah, it's completely up to you.
yeah, just like our liquor license,
Yeah.
we would have to set that cannabis, and
And I
I
would-
think there's a cap too, but I don't remember what it was.
Or what you can charge or,
Yeah, I thought there was this,
I don't.
or I think like a lot of them are just charging the same as what they charge for their alcohol.
I wouldn't do that, but
I don't know, I mean,
they will not pay that. You know, I guarantee that. 'Cause
Yeah.
what is your alcohol?
300?
belief so?
They're selling 500-600 different kinds.
Right.
You're going on one or two.
Or unless you do it like, well, their cigarettes are 100. So, yeah, you could probably match.
All right, well, I think that answers those questions.
Mayor,
Thank you, guys.
moment to that. If you do end up selling that product in town, you should probably get good signage out that might explain more of it. The only thing that I'd be worried about is that it is still federally banned for anyone who has a CDL commercial license or whoever legally carries a firearm. So that can take away their license or also put them jail time if they do have that in their system. I know that I was handed one before and I damn near shit myself.
That is true.
Yeah, okay, thank you. All right, well, I think we got our stuff answered, guys. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty. Okay. Unfinished business, Kellen? Archery Park.
I know we've discussed, probability of putting a camera system in down at the top site. You know, you guys inquired about my cameras that I had done at the archery park. Yeah, so what I did, you know, I went online and just pulled a number of different venues off. You should have copies in front of you. One is, a camera that is looking at the price of $249.99. That's just for the camera, the battery and the solar panel. And then by the time you get done adding on your operating costs, so on and so forth, it can go anywhere between, I think it's $19.99 a month to almost $30 a month, I think it is. And that's indicative of both of those payments. Say you have the $249.99 one and the $59.99 one. These are just ones I found off the internet. I have no experience with any of them as far as what you can do, what you can't do, and so on and so forth. However, third option you have before you should be a Tacticam system, which I have used last number of years down at the archery park. This one here is an actual security camera that Tacticam manufactures. Right now, this coming weekend, that camera is available at Cabela's for $29.99. And then that uses a cellular based communication between the camera and the cell phone, which we have good cell service down here. It also gives you, all three of these cameras will give you real-time notification soon as the camera is activated. So if hypothetically, let's just say we're using the city's phone that Eli has. He could be wherever, and as soon as that phone, that camera is activated by presence, it'll ping his phone and he can actually look at that photograph that that camera took right then and there. Make a decision if there's something that he needs to address right away, or he just could file it or nothing with it, whatever. I personally, because of the fact that I've used Tacticam, I would personally go with the $129.99. You can get, I have a pro package on my cameras. I have 2 cameras that I have on this. And when I activate more than 4 of them, it's like $15 a month it costs me per camera. So if the city decides they want to go with this Tacticam, which I would advocate because I'm familiar with them, what they can do, what they can't do. These other ones here, I don't. They might be just as good, but I have no experience with them whatsoever. The $129.99 at Cabela's, the Father's Day sale they have going on. Normally it's $149.99 for the camera. The lithium battery is $49.99 and the solar panel is $59.99. So you got $110 besides the cost of the camera. But I have 12 AA batteries in my Tacticams at when I first got them. And they lasted almost all year, through the winter, everything. Now I have lithium batteries in them, just for the simple fact that I don't want to have to go and swap out. If you figure out what the cost of 12 AA batteries are compared to the $49.99 lithium battery, 2 swaps of batteries, you paid for the lithium battery. The lithium battery is rechargeable. And then that'll have a solar panel on it too. So it'll automatically keep those that lithium battery charged at all times. With that, also the Tacticams on the link to the cell phone, the cellular link. You can also check the status of your batteries. You can check the status or change any of your operating settings. So if Eli says, okay, I got a still photo of something that's going on down at the compost set, he can actually take his phone and switch it to video. And it'll take a 15-second or 30-second video clip of what's actually going on right from his phone. These other ones, I'm not for sure if he can or can't. I know one does not, doesn't do that. Talk to it, but I know the Tacticam does. So,
So the only way you're gonna see is anything is on this phone, or does it have a
no,
chip in there?
no, it has a SD card. And you can put a 16, 32 gig, whatever you want to put in there, and it'll save whatever that card could save. And then there, Eli from the city phone can go back in and delete as many of those photographs that are on that card as he wants. So it can renew the card there, so we never run out of space, basically. And you can, once you get it on your phone, you can archive it to your phone, or you could forward it to your computer if you want to save those photographs. Without doing anything to the camera, you do it all on your phone.
I know some of the security cameras like automatically delete after 30 days or something like that.
If you're on an automatic move, that has a controller. And that controller is putting all of those photographs on RAM. And once that RAM fills up, it deletes the oldest ones. But that is all hardwired camera systems.
Okay,
They're not
not base ones. Okay,
or not Wi-Fi, but they're not cellular. They're either Wi-Fi or they're hardwired.
okay.
And with the location down there, you can't have either of them. You don't have power down there to wire them hard, and you don't have Wi-Fi down there. And if you did, it would just cost you that much more. So we already have a cell phone. The city already pays for a monthly fee. it'll cost you a couple more dollars for monthly fee to have the pro plan, which is unlimited photos, unlimited videos. So you can get 375 photo a week. But cost you more than what your monthly plan is. It's total.
These you can adjust the sensitivity on them or
Yes,
like a
Yeah.
bigger object if it's.
Yep. This camera here is actually a security camera, unlike my trail cameras. My trail cameras, the lens is a set lens and only gives you a certain angle of view. This security camera gives you a wider view, not really what they call a fisheye, which would be 280 degree. But the problem with that is that when you get into that wide panoramic view, you lose on pixels. So if you have a motor vehicle that comes in, you can't take and zoom in on that license plate because of that panoramic lens on it. You will not be able to read it because of the lack of pixels. Whereas this actually has a wide view, but not a panoramic view. So you will be able to zoom in and you'll be able to look at a fair amount of detail.
How wide a view are you guessing?
I don't know, I have never bought one of these. But I know what my trail cameras do, and then you, and I know a few other people have looked at the previous pictures that I've had at the archery range with my camera, and I can literally. Where that camera was set in relationship to the shooting line is about the same distance of the corner of the gate of the compost site where it goes into the archery range to the entrance out of the trees is about the same distance. So I
it
could zoom
covers.
in and I could read the license plates with my trail camera. So this, I have to believe has got to be, as far as the pixels and the video quality on it. So that is one option to your guys's interest in putting some type of a security system down there at the compost site.
So
You
these,
can monitor it.
this will weather well.
Yes.
I mean,
It is designed to be
Outdoor, yeah.
24/7, 12 days,
okay.
12 months out of the year.
And how many cameras do you think is gonna be required to cover that?
If you're doing the compost site,
Yeah, just one. Okay, I was thinking maybe
If-
it'd be two, but
Eli and I have talked and with the venue, the archery venue down there, 2 would be nice. Right now, in the past couple of years, I've been using my own camera, paying my own monthly fees to monitor what's going on down there. One camera, I don't believe is sufficient enough to monitor both. Now, does the city want to enter in and get one camera, monitor the compost site? And if at a later date, after using this one, you come to feel the need for another one, it would be the cost of another camera, another battery, another solar panel, and another
Yeah.
monthly fee. And then that'll be the decision, you'll have to get the cost of what it is with the experience of utilizing this camera already for maybe a little while. To justify it, what's the cost of want it or not.
so is there an additional cellular fee then per camera?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. As I mentioned, I have 8, each one of those, because I'm on the pro plan. The more cameras you have, the cheaper per month it is per camera.
okay.
First camera probably will cost you $19.99 a month. For operating. If you get 2, like I said, I get, when I have all 8 of my cameras actively, it costs me $12 a month. For each camera.
I think Verizon quoted me at $40 a month
40.
for the data package.
Or just one?
I didn't ask for more than that, and I'm assuming there's probably.
That was the unlimited data package.
Yes.
Yep, so you get as many videos, as many photos as well on that.
I guess one would be very nice to watch a compost pile because we get some unwantables in there once in a while. People set the pile on fire and with your investment of what you're gonna have down there in the archery part, it'd be nice to have one down there to see if any damage or whatever comes along, you know. The world's gonna be made out of cameras pretty soon.
Technology movement, I mean, what today is, will be outdated tomorrow. So your initial investment now, you amortize it out 5 years. And see where the systems are at that time, and if it's warranted, you can switch over to the new stuff that's out on the shelf, or you can say, I'll stay with what I've got.
Yeah, when you brought this up to us, whenever it was, a few months ago or whatever.
Yeah.
We were already on board with getting a camera. We just wanted you to get pricing and here it is, so
Yeah.
1 or 2, whatever.
Yeah. Somebody wanna make a motion to get 1 or 2 or get moving on this?
Yeah, I would make a motion. I would say to go with the one that you have the most faith in, or
With the tactic out. Yeah.
I think it makes sense.
It's one I've used, it's done everything in order that I've done.
And we just put investment in a storage shed. You got new targets. I would not disapprove of having 2.
Just as a reminder, the targets that we purchased, just about $6,000.
Yeah, did you say like 3,000 a piece? Yeah.
I'll make that motion then.
Yeah, I'll make that motion. I think 2. Let's get the pile done and let's
2 packages.
protect our investment of the archery range.
Second,
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. All right,
You want me to pick them up?
sounds like a good deal.
We want Kellen to pick it up and then we'll just reimburse.
Yes,
Throw that into a motion, just so we have it on record, please.
I will make the motion also to have Kellen pick up the product he sees fit and for reimbursement of his efforts.
Someone to second,
a second.
all in favor? Aye. I oppose, motion carried. All right, anything else, Colin?
Oh, that's it.
All righty. Okay, after a long thought deal and a little pushing of the city attorney, City of Good Thunder, we're happy to announce, has retrieved all the money that it had involved in Blue Earth County for the Dakota Mart. The total was $44,090.53, which half of that is $21,752 goes to us and Blue Earth County, right, Sue?
Correct. Yeah, I don't remember exact dollar amount of Worth County.
Yeah, it's, you got your 21,752.76.
Yep.
Look, there you go.
So that is very good for the city.
And that was the low operating loan for the.
That was that
pumps
small
or whatever.
cities,
Yeah.
was it a small city loan? Is that what you guys called it?
A what?
Small cities,
grant.
is that what that was? Or what was that?
I believe it was in cooperation with the county.
Yeah,
I think is that's what it was called, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's part of good news.
It was.
All right, curbside cleanup, and I hope people take advantage of this.
Yeah,
28th, we have so many yards that need cleaning. We've offered the service before at the city shop, got some stuff. We're trying to make it better for people to clean up their yards. I had an individual tell me today, if he moves out of Good Thunder, it's because his neighbor and the way the yard is kept. And I mean, we're not doing our job when we allow people to have junk all over. It's just, it shouldn't be that way. If you have too much stuff, build a shed. Put it inside. I mean, if you have stuff that's old swimming pools, whatever. By all means, throw them out on the curbside on June 28th. And we're paying for it. Or the city or the citizens are paying for it. But at least we're offering a service to clean up properties. And I mean, we have a number of them. So that's my spiel on there. Anybody else?
I totally agree with you.
Mhm.
Eyesores when you can't even mow the lawn because there's so much. I don't care if it's kid toys, if it's garbage, if it's abandoned vehicles. And that's what we are going to do is get more onto these codes and everything else and
we have another ordinance that we're working on, so
Yes,
that's great.
it's coming.
Administrative fines one, yes.
Yeah.
That's the last one that needs to be approved and looked at, and then we can do the public hearing.
It's coming.
So I mean, I know some stuff to certain people is their stuff.
Well, then organize it. Don't make it look like a tornado just went through and.
Yeah. The neighbors might not like that stuff.
Uh,
When that stuff is out in the yards and the grass is this high. How can anybody like any of that? I mean, clean it up. All right, scheduled ordinance, review administrative fines. Sue, you want to take care of that?
Well, we need to schedule a meeting for that.
Can we do it like in the next regular meeting, an hour in advance? Or
That's perfectly fine. The sooner we do it, the sooner we can get these ordinances done. We've been working on.
do we want to have it in a week or so? So we can get that in, because otherwise we wait another 30
Well,
days.
we can do, if we can get it in and we can do the public hearing, maybe we can do that prior to our regular council meeting in July.
That'd be good.
Yeah,
You know, we could do it then if we can.
somebody
July
pick a
what?
date. We could do it at the end of this week, right? We wanted to, if that worked for everybody?
No, I won't be here.
Oh,
Yeah, we'd run into posting time, I think.
You post it tomorrow, you have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so you could, but I will be out of town.
When?
Friday's not a
Thursday and Friday.
good day. Next Monday?
next Monday, yeah. That work for everybody?
Totally fine with next Monday.
Be the 16th,
Yep,
6 o'clock, 7 o'clock,
about 6.
6.
6?
That work for everybody?
Sure.
I would think so. Somebody want to make that motion?
Make that a motion to have a special meeting next Monday, the 16th of June at 6 PM to go over the ordinance review. of the fines or ordinances, whatever.
Yep.
All right,
Good ordinances in case you want to discuss the other ones.
John, that made that a motion, someone to second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I oppose, motion carried. Okay, new business. Sue, do you have your place here where you want to talk? Don't you have?
Flip it over. No, I just talk whenever. Need my own section.
Wow.
New business, resolution GT 2025-05 archery park donation. Oh, and just jumping back for a minute, that money that comes to the city is gonna go where then, did you say?
Or
And what account are we putting that 20
Coming back from the
One.
repayment.
that went back to
to the general?
to the general fund where it came out of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So when we had to write that check to Blue Earth County, it went back into that to offset that one.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Can we do a 06 also in the same motion? There's two resolution. The other one's on the second page of your agenda, the back page of the agenda.
Yeah, one is donate.
Somebody want to make a motion to approve resolution 2025-05? Accept $500 donation from Minnesota Deer Hunters Association to the Thunder Valley Archery Park.
I will, okay, 2025-05 resolution.
Someone a second?
Okay.
Scott second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. And we have another resolution for transfer of the funds here.
As you, Greg talked about this when he presented the audit in April.
Yep.
This is just gonna make that deficit that we've carried over.
Oh, from the refuge, yes.
And from this point forward, we're making it solvent now.
Then,
We'll have to keep a little close tabs on our accounting to see if we're still losing or gaining or
Right.
staying the same.
yeah, or any further price adjustment.
Yeah. So this is a resolution 2506 to transfer funds into the refuge funds to make that solvent.
Yes.
And the transfer amount is $12,500 from the general to the refuge fund. Somebody make a motion to do that?
I'll make a motion for 2025-06.
Someone to second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
I
I oppose, motion carried. All right, Sue, do you have anything? You don't have your name though.
Am I supposed to?
Yeah, you always have a lot of information for us.
Good, I just say it when you guys ask.
Okay.
I will say that I worked with Burkhart last week. I know during the audit, he had talked about the journal entries for our 4M mutual fund balances. And I worked with him last week to journal entry all those balances. So now every month when I balance the checkbook or whatever, I will do that as well, so we won't have that on our audit.
Okay.
So then the cash on hand now is actually a true accounting because it will have that interest from the 4M fund. So.
So she's doing a whole new reconciliation, so I told her, well, I'll sign off on that reconciliation along with the checkbook recon that I've been doing. This is required by the audit too, so I'll review each of these each month and sign them and give them back to Sue, so.
All right, good. Make things just a little cleaner.
Yeah.
Yep, make a little progress each. Okay, anybody under miscellaneous business?
We do have the 2026 budget workshop. We need to start thinking about when we want to schedule that.
That's always in August, right?
Yeah, I did contact M&M today about insurance options. They don't have anything as far as pricing yet, but they did give me the list of the ones from 2025 that we can kind of review during the budget to see if it's something the city wants to look at or the council wants to look at as far as changing the benefits or whatever.
Coverages and stuff.
Yep,
What did you call that meeting?
the budget workshop.
Budget workshop.
Yep. So we don't have to schedule it tonight, but just something to keep in the back of your mind.
Yeah, because we
Need
should,
to start working on that.
yeah, we'll need to schedule after,
Yes.
or at next month's
By
meeting.
Yes.
next month for
Yeah,
sure.
we'll
yeah.
schedule that at the next month's meeting.
And I guess on another note, I brought up the value of the street sweep as a tractor in that last month under the insurance, and it wasn't listed, but it's covered under mobile property, so everything is insured. It would have to be separated if it was over $250,000 value.
From them.
We got a easement back from Feral Gas, right?
Yes,
And got that one in order. We updated the language for the locker. And as soon as that gets done, then we can notify and extend that sanitary sewer up another, 250 feet, whatever it may be. So that's all in the works yet. Hopefully can get done so we can get that done yet this fall, summer or fall. All right, miscellaneous, it says employee raise.
Yeah, this is, Jim and I dropped the ball and didn't bring it up at the last meeting, so we did the annual review for Sue in April, I think. Rating period is, April 1st through March 31st. And we are recommending a 5% raise for Sue for this year, effective, April 1st. And then something that we're also gonna have to take into consideration and just discuss probably then during our budget meeting is both Sue and Eli, they're both gonna be basically on the same thing where they're pretty much top of the range on what we want to do for compensation if we want to give any kind of further raise, because we're probably not going to be able to do it through annual salary. So whether that's in time off or whatever.
HSAs, does that fall under that?
It could be, I don't know how that would work, and I think you haven't looked into that, have you?
no, I just got, like I said, I just got that information stuff, but yeah, that is something that could be used to an insurance plan that does have an HSA.
Yep.
And then,
And it's not that we need to decide now, but they're both pretty much top of the pay scale, so, for further consideration, we're gonna have to have some kind of, if we want to give a monetary, maybe it's a one-time bonus, who knows, I don't know what it is, so. But because we want to discuss and.
I think the way the medical costs are, the HSA would be a very, very good thing for individuals to have,
And our insurance isn't the greatest of plans either, so.
yeah.
That might be one way, yeah, we thought that way as far as compensation, because just so that we are on record, We did call around to all the surrounding cities that are the same size as us and have the same employees as us. And that's how we came up with our determination that we have good people, we want to keep good people. But yeah, we are climbing right to the top. So if we want to keep good people, we got to figure out what else we can give other than a 5% and 8% with whatever raise. Just so everybody knows, we're not just throwing money at them. I mean, there is a rhyme and reason behind it. And we are covering our tracks.
But Jim, it's supposed to be the pay equity audit. You guys are gonna have to watch that very carefully.
I don't think we have to worry about that right now, because I think it's pretty much even Steven, right?
We did do the pay equity
this-
last year and I am working with COG. COG will actually start taking that over. Cause we're
Will?
COG,
Oh, okay.
we pay for that service and they do that for 4 or 5 other towns that are members. So I said,
Well, then just keep us
I'll just,
updated on.
yep, I'll work with Victoria on that.
Yeah,
So I've already talked to her about that, so.
alrighty. Okay, well, Jim and John, looks like you did your due diligence at a.
We'll just need a motion. I'll turn it into a motion that we approve Sue for a 5% raise effective April 1st.
All right, John made that a motion. Someone a second?
Do it because I'm on the personnel committee.
We'll second it.
Scott seconded it. All in favor, say aye. Aye opposed, motion carried. All right. Resident feedback.
So I've been getting, our new website is actually up and working really well. I'm getting some comments from the community that are sending in questions, just different and I just kind of put together a list of some of the things I've received in the last couple of weeks. Some of them were the unlicensed vehicles sitting on resident lots. If the city's gonna enforce it, they need to do it across the board. So it's residents saying there's a lot of vehicles, and I know we've talked about that. So
Oh,
that's one of the
we know
things.
that.
Another one was rental licenses. Are we doing it? Are we not? Some are compliant, some are not. Does the city want to look at reviewing that, get rid of it, and however?
We've talked about that.
So that's another one, yep.
I think when we did talk about that, we kind of said that we were gonna do A, B, C, and that might be at D or C or D. Where we want to get, you know.
Right, yep. Then uses for the ballpark, or uses, yeah, for the ball field. This one came back as the dog park would be a good idea.
A what?
A dog
Dog
park
park.
down there.
Hopefully the people pick their stuff up. 'Cause
Exactly.
I found 3 bags today. They just took them and chucked them against the fence lines.
No,
Oh, that's nice. Very
That's,
nice.
that's one of the issues. The other one is the playground equipment. That was donated to the city. Is it ever gonna get put up? What's going on with that?
You know, that's fine and dandy, but when it comes to getting any volunteers to help in this town, there's zero. It's the same people doing the same thing all the time.
Busy with it.
Yeah,
So,
so I mean, you know, yeah, it's fine and dandy. Yep. We went down and we got it all. Jim got it. We got it, picked it up, brought it here, but yeah, it's, where do you get all the time? You know, we need to weld on legs about 4 feet. We need to dig a bunch of holes, put it in the park. Well, and again, what park?
mhm.
That park that we don't own, that park that we own? Who takes care of all them answers?
Yep. So yeah, these are, like I said, these are just some of the things. The landing down by the Maple River, who owns it?
The what?
The landing down by the Maple River down here. There used to be,
I think the county does.
evidently there used to be a place where you could like launch kayaks and canoes and stuff.
Oh, that's Mary Helen Peterson, the
Okay.
Peterson family.
Okay.
property.
Still there, but it's closer to the bridge and that's counties.
yeah, it's half.
Okay,
about
yeah.
Halfway
I
down.
mean, is it something the city can make usable so that they can kayak and canoe down there anymore?
I think there was some there over the week or on Sunday, there was 2 vehicles parked there.
Mhm.
Obviously, they launched in there, you know.
It was-
I think the city.
Cause I don't know who owns it, and that was the question, it's like, well, who owns it? And I'm like, I don't know.
Be the county and it'd be that gal, yeah.
Okay,
There is a washout area that they've been using to put their canoes, kayaks in.
Yes, just down from that
It's,
brick sign, right?
well, it's just down from the monument.
Yeah, the monument, yeah.
Just moved it to the
the
west.
city mows that though, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
we do.
Okay,
Cause it wasn't getting taken care of by Blue Earth County and we figured it should be mowed up and taken care of.
On our mowing plan.
Robert, there is a whole canoe access there as well. It's just grown over. You can't see it. When the county redid the whole thing, they put in a new angled ramp. You just don't know it's there
In the weeds?
in the weeds. down
Under
at
the sand.
monument.
Yeah.
So
Can you get mowed up to that, Kellen, or
there-
no?
So you'd have to go down and reclaim all of that area, try to find out where that, because they put slats in.
Oh, they did?
Right. You'd have to go down there, Jake, and try to figure out where those are at again and try to,
So last year in June when it flooded, then it obviously covered it up.
oh, yes.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, there is no identifiable
okay.
remnants of the old land.
So would we ask Blue Earth County to reclaim that?
I don't know. Let's find out.
They're there, it's their property.
In that month.
Josh Downey's in charge of that. If you want to give him a call.
Who?
Josh Downey.
Oh, yeah,
Is he with the county?
yeah, he's in the parks.
Parks.
And then to go along with that county address to the county, the monument that's down there is in really tough shape. The base pedestal that it sits on, all the timbers are all weathered out and falling apart, so.
Is that also the county?
That is the county's, yeah.
Okay.
Monument about the Ford Fjord
Okay.
crossing.
There's one down there.
And the last comment I have is the benches for the bell tower park, and does the city own the green benches that are sitting uptown?
What about the bell tower first?
The benches for the bell tower park,
Yeah,
are there benches there?
Two of them,
There's
two of them.
two blue,
Okay,
one is getting deteriorated.
now did the city have green ones at one time?
There's green ones sitting in front of the liquor store. And
The resident is asking if the green ones are owned by the liquor store or the
don't know.
city.
I think the city bought them all at one time, I believe, if I remember right, but
They could move them, if some of them could be put back to the bell tower park for use. So,
there's three in front of the bar now, right? Or two or three?
I think so,
Yeah.
and there's two long blue ones at the bell tower.
Yeah,
so are those outside all winter, the bell tower ones?
Yes.
Oh, they are.
Yes.
They're permanent, ain't they?
On the east side.
Where were the green ones then?
Green ones are sitting on the sidewalk in front of the liquor store.
But at winter time, where were those?
They're
Right there.
Oh, were they? I don't know.
They're out all year, I think, too.
Gotcha.
and the
Well-
hedge is gonna come out sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When it stops raining.
Reading right now.
Oh. Better get to work.
Burn the midnight oil.
and I haven't been on that bell tower for a while. Is there gonna be some board
There'll have to
replacement?
be some assessment to what all that needs, cause yeah, there's some of the decking and some of the railings in
Yeah.
tough shape.
Is that another thing we need to put on the list? Is that something we wanna preserve as part of history of Good Thunder or?
Well, I thought we were gonna kind of tie that in with the VA, with the Veterans Memorial.
Yeah, I mean, we need to
Yeah.
see if
So,
the veterans would wanna upgrade, help upgrade that park there. Yeah.
Do you have something?
Yeah, just community concerns. Another thing, this video company that we got in here for our cellular or our internet and stuff. First off, my personal experience and a few other people's, they suck when it comes to customer service, plain and simple, they suck. Secondly, they put the system in back in August, we still have cables laying all over people's yards.
Yeah, I seen one today.
There's a big one down here in your sewer project, that the main cable that's sitting on top of the ground.
Really?
And they were in town already,
Yeah.
buried some, but they didn't bury them all.
Just as an example, there's two lines running across my brother's property. They're not even his. They belong to other houses, and I accidentally hit one of them. Ripped it out of the pedestal. When are they ever gonna bury these things?
Yeah.
Do you have a contact for them?
I will find one,
Yeah,
because that's still consolidated, so.
I got a comment on that too, I've been kind of watching them. And they'll just go across somebody's property. I don't even think they ask them.
no, I know that.
You
Yeah.
can't do that.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't think you could.
No, and another thing, if they got a cable laying across city property. And somebody gets hurt on that, the city could get sued too, because you're allowing them to lay a cable across your property.
They never even asked. They just
Yeah.
strung them out. To serve.
But if you know they're there
Yeah,
and you're not telling them, get rid of your cable, and they get hurt on it,
Yeah.
yeah.
everybody involved in that would get sued, and that would include the city for allowing them to have that cable running across.
Sure.
Stu will find a contact and, yeah, need to get them buried.
How's the internet service? Cause I haven't hooked up to that yet. I'll go with somebody else.
I pay for 1 gig and most times I get 257 to 376 megabytes. That's all I get for service.
About a third
Is
of
that
what
bad
you.
or good or?
Yeah.
About a
You know,
third of
I
what
have-
he's.
I don't know it. I don't know nothing.
I have
about
better
it.
service now than I did when I had consolidated.
I do too.
So I mean, I have more
I had
gigs than
30
anything
I had
else.
32
Yep.
megabytes, and that was on a lot.
Does anybody know,
For
can you
1
get
gig
that
only.
satellite stuff? Like I see on the TV, you know,
That's
Sure.
mainly rural areas.
huh?
It's your direct TV.
No, like I,
That,
Use that or Blue Sky or.
probably,
now Verizon or.
Yeah.
Verizon.
Probably. you what?
You can't get Verizon internet in good time. Oh, they told me no.
Residential or commercial?
So you
Well-
can get a different internet provider.
Do you call down and complain about the service?
I do.
What do they say? Are they gonna be updating or making it better?
No, they're gonna check into it. I call back 2 weeks later, ask if they've done anything to improve my signal service, cause I'm paying for 1 gig and I'm only getting 300 and something.
They're getting a third.
No,
Well, what kind of business is that? They're supposed to improve it with fiber, right?
getting pushed off to somebody else,
Wow.
and it still have yet to have a resolution.
Did you switch?
Well, the signal went out completely in town.
Video?
Had another comment on that. I called them for 3 months to bury my wire, and for 3 months, every week, I talked to that guy in Wisconsin, that Badger, oh yeah, we'll be there Monday.
Yeah.
And then they'd call to go for one call and all the stuff would get marked, and then they'd never come for 3 weeks, they'd show up. Well, there's no markings left, so no, you can't dig them. They finally did come like a week ago and put that in.
Wow.
All right, well, that was it for resident feedback.
Yep, and then I will be gone Thursday and Friday,
You're always.
so City Hall will be closed. You're welcome.
All right, anybody with anything else? Any new ideas? Wait until next month?
Well, I think we gotta get that meeting next week or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Get going on all these ordinances and get
July, what?
get our Blue Earth County liaison busy with helping us and start making a difference around.
All right. So we make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Someone second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.